Okay. I know you're all waiting for see that to get to 0, but I accidentally clicked the next slide. So welcome everybody to Power BI for Government, Community of Practice number 5. Great to have you here for our 5th meetup. We've got some really interesting presentations today. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we kick off. So the Power BI Community of Practice events are run via Teams webinar. There's a lot of us here today, so I would love to hear your questions. Frank would love to hear your questions as well. What I would ask is if you can raise your hand in the chat, just so that I can manage that. So if you have any questions as we're going through any of the presentations, any of the demos, raise your hand in the chat. I will then call you out, and then you can please do ask your question. Just to note that this session is being recorded. I will share the recording on the DataTale YouTube channel. So if you don't know where that is, obviously I'll send that out in the monthly emails that I send out, but I will put this meetup if you need to head off early, if you want to share it with some other colleagues, it will be all recorded so you won't miss a thing. So just a reminder before we do kick off, please do mute your microphones. Video is up to you, on or off, that doesn't matter. And again, you can ask questions in the chat if you'd like to as well. So for those of you who haven't been here before, what is the Power BI Government Community of Practice? Essentially, I'm trying to connect and help you learn from others in the government space who are using Power BI. So today we're going to have a user story from Frank. We're going to have some learning opportunities. I'm going to show you how to use an info button and what is new in Power BI. So that's essentially what we do. We do it once a quarter, come together, just get to see what other people are doing and what's happening in the world of Power BI. Just a reminder, if you are a LinkedIn user, there is a LinkedIn group. It is one way to keep in touch and know what is happening. Also, more than welcome to drop your questions in there. And also, if you're not on my mailing list, let me know. I do send once a month, what's new in Power BI, what's happening, and some tips and tricks as well. If you don't know who I am, I'm Warren Dean. I'm the founder of DataTale. My company looks at Power BI services for government. So in essence, we do a lot of Power BI training. We do Power BI report development, and also a lot of Power BI rollout is a space that we've been working in as well. How do you know using Power BI to its best ability within your business? How is it rolled out across the organization? Are you set up for self-service? So if you have any questions about that, please do yell out. And a reminder, end of the month, I do have the Power BI Training for Government course attended by over 300 people in government now. There are a few spots left here if you're interested in coming on that course virtually at the end of this month. Just send me an email. But without further ado, let's get into today's session. So thank you very much. We have Frank, who working at, he's going to be showcasing a project management dashboard in Power BI that he has built. I am going to be showing you how to use an info button in Power BI and how when sometimes you've got Power BI reports, there's a lot going on and you want to maybe give people some information about how to use each little module in your report. I'm going to show you how to do that with the Google Analytics report that I've built. And to start off though, I'm going to give you some quarterly updates and bring it into a little bit of a demo. I'm going to give you my top 3 things that's happened in the last quarter for Power BI. For our meetup number 6, though, I will mention that we do have Anna Swartzman from the Victorian Ombudsman. She's built a really interesting solution in terms of a business glossary. And it's not just Power BI, it's using the whole Power Suite. So that'll be late October, November. So I'd really encourage you to come along to that one if you want to see how people can use the whole Power Platform to build a solution. So really interesting one there. I'll encourage you to jump along to that. So first up, what's new in Power BI? This is my quarterly wrap, my top 3 interesting things that you should be on top of for Power BI. So the first one is this: Power BI is now fully embedded in PowerPoint. So you'll notice I'm flicking through PowerPoint slides, and I've come to this Power BI slide. I haven't left the PowerPoint presentation. Power BI, this particular Power BI report is actually embedded in my report. So no more screenshots and having multiple pages. I can have one page embedded here within PowerPoint. So if I was presenting to this report, I could shift the time slicer and you can see the page is interactive. So it is actually embedded. I can click here on the source. Oops, sorry, how do I go back? Click here on, I'm just interested in direct, and I'll show you this Power BI report a little bit later, but here you can see, sorry, my mouse is disappearing. There we go. If I want to click on, a certain page, I want to go to the next page. All this is done within Power BI, fully embedded in PowerPoint. So if you're not sure how to do that, let me give you a quick demo and show you how you can embed your Power BI reports into Power BI. So I am now in the Power BI service. Here you can see this is my Google Analytics report. What I want to do is I want to embed this into PowerPoint. If you come up the top here, you can see you have some options. So export, PowerPoint, and there's two here. So the old one used to be embedded as an image. So if you use this one, it's just going to screenshot it, so it won't be interactive. But the second one here is embed live data. So I'm going to click on that. You'll get some options here. Do you want to use the filters that you currently have selected? That's obviously optional. But what you're interested in here is this URL link. So you can grab that, or you can just click straight away. So I'll just click straight away. What that's going to do is open up a new Power BI report, PowerPoint report. Just come on a different page for me. So let me just move it across for you. Over here. And here's the report now being embedded. So the good thing about this is if you're presenting to someone and you want to write some notes, so you want to put a text box here and say something in here, you can even put it on top of the report. So it does work with the arrangements. So I could put a whole heap of notes here on the side as I click through the report. So that's how you can directly embed it. If I wanted to embed it into here, if I just grab a new Power BI PowerPoint report here, on the Insert tab here, you can see there is a Power BI option now. So you can click on Power BI. Just need to grab that URL, which I don't think I grabbed. So let me just go back to my browser, get that link, copy, and paste it into here, insert. Now, just remember you do need to be logged in because it's going to check that you have permissions to show this report, and you can make it, whatever size you want. So you can move it around as an object within PowerPoint. So I think this is really cool, very good if you're doing presentations and you don't want to screenshot everything. You actually want a Power BI report embedded in there. You might use some buttons, for example, if there's a few things you want to work through for bookmarks, but that's probably my favorite in the last quarter. Let's have a look at a few others that we do have. Error bars is now available for you. So here you can see I have a line and I've just added a 10% error bar here. So I'll go ahead and quickly show you how you can do that. So this is just a duplicate of that page. I've got a line chart here. So the error bar works with the line chart at the moment. I can go to the add further analysis to your visuals. The error bars section here, and there's actually quite a lot. Let me just open that up. Quite a few options. So you could have the bar, the line, a shaded area, markers, etc. So first we do need something to drop. So I need an upper bound and a lower bound. So I've just written here a simple formula, which is just, if we have a look, it's just plus or minus 10%. So I'll drop the lower into the lower bound. and the upper into the upper bound. And if I turn the line off and the bar on, you can see here, sorry, tooltips are getting in the way. It creates error markers. So, and obviously this can be based on any measure that you want to drop into there, or you can put a line, which looks quite good as well. If I play around with the transparency, so we can see in here, now I have like a shaded line following like this. So error bars are available. Just a reminder, they are in the add for further analysis, or I call it the advanced analysis, little magnifying glass there. So that's my second one to show you. And the third one I'm going to show you is field parameters, which I actually think is really useful. So a field parameter is essentially, how do I want to cut the data so that the columns I want to see? So this is some sample data here, and I'm looking by country: France, Germany, Canada, United States, sales by country. And here I have a parameter where I want to change the axis here to have a look at product. So now it shows me by product. Now it shows me by segment. So now I can have a slicer on the page that controls what is in the axis. So how do you set that up? I'll show you how to do that one. So here we just have a bar, and you can see I have nothing in the axis. If you would like to create a parameter, go to the modeling tab, new parameter. So we always had the numeric parameters, which we could use in formulas, but here I'm going to select the fields parameter. So select fields parameter. And what we need to do is drop some fields in here. So these are not things that you aggregate by, they're more categories. So country, what else we got? Product, segment. So I can put them in here. I'm going to say add a slicer to my page. Yes. So I will create it. If we have a look in our fields pane on the right, you can see I've created a parameter. If you want to see the code behind it, all it is a DAX formula that essentially is using the name of function and then allocating it position 0, 1, or 2. And this is the column that it's referencing. So, and then it gives it this name. But what that means is we can now use it in a parameter. And so it's put the parameter here for us. And so what I need to do is take this parameter and then put it into this chart. So I'll select the chart, take that parameter, which I created. Obviously, I'd give it a better name than parameter. But if I drag it in there now, it is now referencing this table, this parameters. And this parameter is controlled by here. So by default, it's doing the first one. But if I select product, it'll go to product, it'll go to segment, it'll go to country. So this is a really handy tip. I think, a lot of times we're trying to squish a lot into our reports, and our stakeholders might want to see the data cut this way, cut that way. And now all of a sudden I've got 3, 4 charts. What we can do is we can just have a parameter slicer there and the charts, and they can change the whole chart now to look by country, to look by product, to look by segment, instead of trying to fit all that onto one page. I'm going to show you how to use the info button to improve UX. So let me bring up the Power BI report again that I was going to show you. Put that there, just so I can see everyone in the chat. I'll put everyone back there as well. So here's my Google Analytics report. So this is connected to my website. Every day it's refreshing and telling me how many hits on the website. There's a lot of information here at the top, page views, unique views, organic search, new site visitors. What is the difference between all of these? What do all these slices mean? And so what I'm going to show you today to do is how you can build a information button. So if I click on my information button, what this is actually doing is displaying an image on top of my Power BI report. And in this particular image, it's showing you what all these mean. So this is the count of free clicks to site, and the line is showing the trend. This button will close it. This allows me to go to the home page. So I can put a whole heap of visual information to help people navigate, use the Power BI report, and I can click it on and off using buttons. So this is just a button that I'm clicking on and off. So I can go to the next page here, and I could have the same look, obviously, the information button, but this is a different page. And here I can have different information put up here. So this one's showing hours per day, etc. So this is a Power BI report that is connected to Google Analytics. If you are interested and you want something set up for your own organization, just tell me, because I've already built it. Happy to help you implement something like this for your organization as well. But what we're going to do is we are going to demo this little button here. So to build this, we're going to need PowerPoint and we're going to need Power BI. So here's my PowerPoint. I'll drop that in there. I'll bring up a Power BI report. So let's do it on this demo report that I was building before. What I want is, because we've built a parameter here, what I want to show people is this parameter is going to change this axis so that they understand what's going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print screen. So depending on what print screen you use, I'm using Snagit here. I'm going to select the background that I want my chart to be on. And then what I'm going to do is copy that into PowerPoint. So here we are in PowerPoint, and I've got the background there. So I'll get rid of all that. And what I want is a box or maybe an arrow to show that this changes this. So insert shape. Or maybe I can even get a double-sided arrow. So let's get a double-sided arrow. I'm going to say this, change this, maybe something like that. Make it orange, and then just increase the weight so you can actually see it. That orange doesn't stand out too well. Maybe I'll make that a bit darker, something like that. Yep. And then I'll insert text box to say change the axis. Give that box a bit of a background so we can see that. So shape fill, outline, drop it right there. Okay, so we could add a lot of things here. You could add obviously whatever. I'll just add a few other random boxes so you can see them all. So here I'll say close, change, fill that. So I might put that there. And we could have arrows. So I'll just drop a few here and there so you can see. So I'll put that there. And I'll put this one here. Select filter. Okay, excellent. So this is going to be an image in our Power BI report. I don't want the Power BI report in here, so I'll delete that. I'll get rid of all these boxes. So I just want all the boxes and things that I've put. Last thing I'm going to do is just create a bit of a shade. So I'm just going to get a box, the whole width of the report here. Go to the format, and let's go to the format options, format shape. And I don't want it blue. We might just go like a light orange with the transparency so that it's not the whole thing. Something like that. Maybe a different color, maybe a gray. Okay. So I have a few elements on my Power BI report. What I want to do is I want to take this image and put it in my Power BI report to be able to be turned on and off with a button. Now, unfortunately, you can't go File, Export, change file type. So this is usually how I would get a background image and save it as a PNG file. When I do this, it doesn't keep the transparency. So to keep the transparency, I actually have to click and select everything. So click and select everything, File, save as a picture. And when I do it this way, it keeps the transparency for some reason. So I'll call this background PNG file save. Okay, part 1 done. So we'll jump back into Power BI. Now I'm going to import this picture. So insert this image, background. Okay, it's a little bit small, just increase its size like this. And that, so a little bit, once I've made it the full size, you can see this has popped up and now this is here. So what we want to be able to do is turn it off and on when required. So to do that, we're going to need an info button. So I'm here on the insert buttons, take an info button, put this over here. And to get the button to do something, we need to create a bookmark. So if I go in the view, in the view ribbon, I need bookmarks. I also need selection panes. So here, if you haven't used the selection pane before, every item is in your Power BI report and you can turn it on and off. So what I want to do is I want to turn the image on and off. And you can see when I click the little eye, it's on and it's off. So when I click it off, I want to add this as a bookmark and I'll just call this bookmark off. And then I turn it on and I'm just going to call this one on. And so now I have my bookmarks, which is just all it's doing is turning an image on and off. So I can get rid of all of that. And now when I select the button, I assign to the button the action of on. So here, button, action, the type, it's the bookmark. The bookmark I want is on. And what I'll need to do for the image is I can also assign the image an action. Action, image, bookmark. This one will be off. So just remember when you're in Power BI Desktop, to get bookmarks to work, you have to hold the control button. So holding the control button, I select the info button and it's gone. And then I put it back, select, and it's on. So holding control, I can turn it on and I can turn it off. And this is a really good way to improve your UX, because now if there's a lot of things happening, how would anyone ever know that this controlled here? They can select the information button and it says if you want to change the axes, select the parameter with the arrow like so. So I've been using this quite a lot, especially when there's a lot of content on the page and you want to be able to let the user see what everything is actually doing. So any questions about that little demo there? All good, pretty straightforward. All right. Excellent. So in terms of our session today, that brings us to the end of the session. So just a reminder, please do reach out if you're interested in the Power BI training for government. It's on at the end of the month. We do have a few spots left. If you're interested in Power BI development, like that Google Analytics page, if you'd like something similar to that, please do let me know. And how do I use Power BI in my organization? Is it set up for self-service? How do I manage the tenant? How do I manage workspaces? All that type of stuff. Please do reach out. More than happy to help you on your Power BI journey. So if there's no more questions, I'll let you all go. Thanks everyone for joining us. Hopefully I will see you next quarter for another exciting session of Power BI for Government Community of Practice. See you everyone.